Hello, Lacers, and welcome to Boots. Today we have Micah. Her handle on TikTok is MA Energy 7, and she makes women's sports content. And specifically, we started being really big fans of Micah through her women's soccer content. Welcome today, Micah, to the Boots podcast.
Ooh,
Woo! Hello, everybody. Welcome to Boots. And today we have a really special guest. We have Micah. And I am so excited about this one and it's funny because I've been talking to Micah like over social media for months now. And I've been talking to Micah for a long time about coming on Boots. And so I'm really excited. And I also think now it's like the most perfect time ever to have you on Boots following the She Believes Cup because you were able to go watch, and I'm really interested to hear what your takes were and also what your experience was. So that's really exciting. First and foremost, how have you been, Micah? What have you been up to?
I've been great. The She Believes Cup, like 2 flights in 24 hours. That was a lot. So I've just been like recovering from that, chilling, making videos, watching a bunch of TV.
Nice.
Does it feel
Amazing.
interesting, like flying so quick back to back and kind of thinking like the athletes have to do this as well, I guess? Yeah.
I can't even imagine that. Like, they have so much on their load, and the fact that they're able to like show up and perform for the national team like every single time. I could never be an athlete. Like, that is so much.
Seems like so much travel. Yeah.
That's so true. We were talking about that too because when we were at the Dash game, so many Dash players are international players that were coming back from international games, and they all were and Washington Spirit, and they were all playing in the game, and we were like, maybe we won't see them play because they're coming back from, and they were all just like still playing and crushing it, and it's so impressive. Like, how are they doing that?
When I saw Trinity starting, I was like,
Yeah.
what? Oh my goodness. Like, give them their crowns, give them their flowers, because they're just incredible.
Truly. Truly. Yeah, it was, man, traveling knocks me out. Last week, I was able to go back to Wyoming because I was able to watch two of my best friends get married. Shout out to Aaron and Jenny. And woo, and it was amazing. They've been together for, I think, like 7 years now. And this is hilarious to talk about because my friend Erin has had the ring for like, I think 4 years. And she's just had it.
Wow.
So I'm so excited for them. I'm so happy for them. And that was, I think, one of the best parts of my week on top of going watching soccer, which is always some of the best things that we can do, right?
Seriously.
Kylie, how about you?
I've just been doing homework. I just am in my finals era. Like I'll shout out Taylor Swift there, but it's the finals era right now. Just too many projects to do, too much work to do. But then had a nice little break last night to go to the Dash game, so that was super fun. Trista got a picture with Trinity Rodman and Casey Kruger. Like, yeah, so cool. So
okay. Cool. I do have an embarrassing story that I told Kylie she can never talk about, but I guess I should talk about on the podcast.
Okay.
Spill it.
Okay, so getting my picture with Kylie and I are super awkward about getting pictures with Micah, you'll have to tell us what you think because it's like they're so cool and you don't want to be weird, right? They're just amazing. You're like, I don't want to be weird, but you want to take a picture. It's such an awkward like experience. And so Trinity was so awesome. She was taking pictures with all the fans. She was so kind with it was just so kind of her. And so I was like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to take a picture. I'm going to do it. And that went well. Trinity was so sweet. She came over, got a picture with me, and it was really sweet. And then we were like, okay, we're walking away. And then Casey Kruger is kind of around. And I was like, Casey Kruger, I want to get a picture with her. She's amazing. And so I'm like a row back and I go, Casey, and can I get a picture? And she turns around and she's like, okay. And I step onto a seat to like get over the row to take a picture with her, and my foot falls through the seat and I can't get it out. And I'm like lifting up my foot and it's like getting sandwiched up and down in the seat, and it's taking too long of a time to get my foot out. And Kylie's like, get your foot out. And I was like, I can't. Anyway, I eventually got it out, but actually it kind of hurts today. Like, I got like scraped. Anyway, it's really embarrassing. And then I like went over to Casey Kruger eventually, and she was like, are you okay?
Oh my goodness.
It was so embarrassing, but she was really sweet. She's really, really nice.
Her and Alyssa Neer, when I was at the She Believes Cup, like Casey and Alyssa took the longest with the fans. Like they were taking so much pictures. They're literal angels. Like Casey's such a sweetheart.
I'm so sad. I still feel ridiculous, but it's okay. It's okay.
An embarrassing moment too. It's okay.
Tell us.
Okay, so after the game, it was like this like nice area where you get to like meet the players while they're walking back to whatever they're going at the end of the game. And so all of them were taking pictures, and like Jaden Shaw and Lily Johannes like were in my area. I was like, the thing was, everyone was like pushing and shoving. So there was like one row in front of me, and I was like right there.
Wow.
But I was too shy. I'm like so nervous. I didn't want to ask anyone. But anyways, Lily Johannes was coming by. She was like taking pictures with everyone, and she was like right in front of my face. And I could have been like, "Hey, can we take a picture?" But I was just like. I was just shocked, like I didn't say anything, and she was like staring, and everyone else was like acting. I was just like staring. I'm like, hi. So I didn't get a picture with Lily, but I got a picture of Lily, so it's okay.
I saw that on your content.
I was insanely shy. I think like bro, it's like the players that you watch like every weekend, and they're right in front of your face. It's like, what do you say? What do you do? Like, there's no words.
No, I know. It's truly wild. Yeah, we experienced that in CONCACAF. We were really, really awkward. We were trying to get pictures and signatures and stuff with the Canadian team. When it actually came time to it, we were just like frozen. Oh my God. And I spilt our beers when we went to go get pictures. Oh my gosh. I'm a mess when it comes to it. I can't handle it.
Same.
We just have to, we've talked about it. We just need to practice more. We just need to do it more. We need to put ourselves in those uncomfortable positions. And I was even way too shy last night. Trista crushed it and was actually attempting it. I was like, I can't do this today. I can't. Today's not my day for this.
Next time.
Yeah.
So funny. So tell us, how did you get into soccer? What was your journey like?
I'm being like so for real. It was a Lucy Bronze edit.
Really?
I'm being so before I started posting about women's soccer, my content was entirely different. Do you guys know like the Scream movies?
Yes.
Yeah.
I used to make content about those movies. Like I was doing pretty well too. Like a few of the cast had followed me, and I was doing like you guys know the David Arquette, he plays Dewey.
Yes.
Followed me. A few of the cast from Scream 5 had followed me. So that's what like my content was literally about, like film and movies.
Wow.
And then one day I was this is such a funny story. Do you guys know the chicken shop girl on TikTok?
Yes. Yeah. She's so funny. Okay.
So I was looking for a clip of her and Andrew Garfield because I thought it was really funny. So then I was like scrolling under her name, and then the video of her doing the chicken shop date with Lucy Bronze and Beth Mead popped up.
Yeah.
And I was like, I've never seen like Lucy Bronze. She said that she was like a 10 out of 10 playing football. I was like, I've never seen a woman this confident before. I'm like, who is this? I'm obsessed. The literal next day, I started posting about women's soccer. Like, I'm not even kidding.
That's it. Wow.
That was it.
Amazing.
I'm just a girl, guys. I saw Lucy Bronze. I'm like, who is this? I'm locked in.
That is so cool. Yeah.
And I've never been into sports ever. So it was a big transition.
Oh, that's so cool, though.
How long ago was that?
That was a year ago. Like exactly almost. Like a little over a year. It was, unironically, it was the day that Arsenal won the Conti Cup last year. But I didn't know that was happening. It just happened to be that exact same day that I started posting about women's football.
Wow.
Amazing.
What's the first game you watched? Like, How did you?
The first game I watched, I remember, so when I first got into it, I didn't know how to like access it in America. So I
Yeah.
was keeping up with like the Arsenal stats. Like I was still in high school at this point. So it was like the like end of the day. I'm like going on Google looking up the stats, like who's winning. But I think the first game, I wish I could remember. I think the first game I actually watched was like England versus Australia.
And that's when Australia won, right?
Yeah, that was literally like the week before Leah got injured.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was like the first game I think I remember watching.
Oh. So you started watching England before the US?
Yeah, I
Wow.
did. It's kind of crazy.
There's so much content about the England team that like it's so easy to like kind of start to fall in love with them though. Kind of like Beth Mead and Lucy Bronze on that chicken shop date. And then
Exactly.
like everything else that they have done after that. Yeah.
I know. Like that, I was a huge fan of the Lionesses. That I'm like, wait, you're American. Hang on.
Pause here.
Pause. There's a team in the USA, so you should probably like hop on that train. Because I know there's so much competition between the two countries, anyways. I'm like, let me not get in the middle of this.
That's so cool though.
So you support Arsenal.
Yes.
Do you have a favorite player?
Viviana Miedema.
Really?
She,
Why?
I I just thought it was so cool. Like once I found out like she was like the top goal scorer in Netherlands, like men's or women's, I'm just like, that is so cool. Like a female is like leading in something. And she was just so good. I'm like Lucy Bronze, I discovered it through Lucy Bronze, but like Viv was the reason why I like actually stayed and watched it. I just thought she was so talented and so cool. I'm just like, she's my favorite player.
That's so cool.
She is amazing.
Yeah.
She's back in practice.
I know. I'm super excited because watching the games without her, I'm just like, I miss her. Put her back
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
When I got into it, she wasn't even playing.
Yeah, she wasn't, right? Yeah, she was injured.
Wasn't. So I was just like watching like a lot of her highlights, and I'm like, she's so cool. She's just so good.
That is so wild. Your journey into women's soccer is so interesting.
I know. Literally, like my family was like, "Since when do you watch sports, guys? Don't ask. Don't ask."
So cool though.
I love that. Have you picked a NWSL team?
Okay, so we were talking about this before we started recording. So since I live in Virginia right now, so I don't have any local team. I guess like Washington Spirit maybe, but that's too far away. I'm like exactly 3 hours away from both North Carolina and Washington Spirit. So it's just like, but I love Alyssa Nair, Mallory Thompson. Like I just like I'm going with Chicago Red Stars, and they're the underdogs since they were at the bottom of the table last season, and they've been doing good this season so far. So I'm just like, why not support Chicago?
And they have a really nice looking jersey.
They do, and I just posted. Did you see like their new jacket that they just came out with?
Yes. Yeah. Well, I watched your content on it. Yeah.
Yeah,
I watched your content on it.
it's $200, but I'm just like, it's so pretty.
But you get 2 jackets for 1, so.
Yeah, it literally is
Yeah.
worth the price.
It's so cool though.
Yeah. So exciting. So tell us about your experience going to the She Believes.
Right. It happened so fast. First of all, I made a TikTok and I was like debating if I should even post it or not. It was just like me like rambling about how like grateful I am and just like how much I love finding and discovering women's sports. And I was like, this is like low-key corny. Should I even post this? I'm like, this is corny. And then Delta commented on it. I'm like, thank God I posted that. But it was like a week and 2 days before the game. Delta was like, we'll love to fly you out to make your dreams come true. And I was like, are they being for real right now? Like, this can't be real. Like, the game is literally in 1 week from now. Even my parents, since they don't understand how the social media thing works, they're like, are you being scammed? I'm like, no, I'm not being scammed. Like, this is like the real account. Like, yeah, so then they commented and I got in contact with their social media person and she was like, we'll pay for your flight, we'll pay for your hotel. Everything was and they said I could bring a +1. I'm like, thank goodness, because I was so scared to go alone. So I brought my mom with me. And it was the best experience ever. Like, happened so fast. And that was my first time flying for the first time in a couple years. So I was like so nervous, but all was fine.
So
That
cool.
is amazing. Yeah, I've been following your content for a while. I actually saw all of that unfold on your content as well, like Delta comment, like the whole thing. And I was like, no way. That is so amazing. And then I actually saw you were actually going and like going with, I was like, yes, Micah, that's the best. Like, that is so exciting. And oh, I love that for you.
I
Like, that
know.
is so cool.
I truly didn't even like it. Didn't even feel real until like the day of. Like, like are the tickets really about to work right now? Like, is the hotel really booked right now? Like, is this real? And it's like we got everything was like fine. Like, hope the Atlanta airport is crazy, but we can talk about that later. Like, it was such a chaotic like 24 hours because we also got lost in Atlanta for like 5 minutes. I was it was very chaotic, but it was a good experience. Like, I can't even put into words. Like, I feel so lucky. Like,
So
women's sport got me this opportunity and just like incredible.
so
Love
cool.
that. How was your experience like at the actual games? Like,
So luckily, I had the opportunity to watch both the USA and Canada game, but when I tell y'all, like, I was so tired. So we went back to the hotel before the Canada game started, but I was like, I walked to the stadium. Like, we were not even like a 2 minute walk from the hotel to the stadium. So we got there like an hour before. Everything I've never been in a stadium ever. So I was like scared, like it's so big. Am I gonna get around properly? But everything was like really easy. The staff helped us out. It was amazing. We had the best seats. Like I was like before the game started, I was watching the Japan players train, like right in front of me. I'm just like, this isn't real. And then so yeah, the game started. It was hype. They were playing some bangers. They were playing some Taylor Swift. I'm like, this game is about to get like rolling. It was amazing. And then Japan scored the first
Yep.
minute of the game.
Right away. Mm-hmm.
So I was like nervous at that point because I'm like, the stadium went silent. I'm like, I would hate it if this stadium was like quiet the entire game, like my first game.
Yeah.
I was like worried it was gonna throw off the vibes, but we came back like we always do. All was well. It was very chaotic, but we had so many chances to score.
Yeah.
I think it was like 18 attempts on goal,
Yeah.
and none would go in. It was like, but then Jaden Shaw, she comes through for us every single time. It was amazing.
that is phenomenal. Who was what like somebody that surprised you watching in person, or somebody that you were really impressed with watching in person, maybe more so than you thought?
Mallory. Like,
That's so cool.
especially since like she's been out for a year, and it's like you wouldn't expect her to be like that good coming right off of an injury, but it's like she never left. The things she's able to do, I was just like shocked. And then like Alyssa Neer as well, the GOAT.
Yeah.
Like and Lindsay Horan, she's actually my favorite player from the US team. And just like watch it, like, and Alex Morgan, I'm just like, I was so starstruck. Like, the famous USA players are like right in front of me. I'm just like, what the heck is going on?
Yeah, fair enough. That's amazing. What did you think about the Canada game?
I wasn't able to watch it.
Oh,
So after the USA game ended, like me and my mom, we hadn't slept in like 24 hours. Because the night before we flew out, I was like, was not able to sleep. Like, I'm too excited. So, and like in the stadium, there's bright lights just like shining in my eyes. I was like, I need to go rest right now. So, because I think it was like a 30-minute break between the two games. So we went back to the hotel. I wanted to come back and watch it, but I was so tired.
fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Seriously.
Oh, that is so cool. What a fun experience.
I know. I would have loved to see the Canada game because Chloe Lacasse. That it wasn't in my mind that like, hey, you're missing out on seeing Chloe Lacasse play right now. I'm just like, I should have stayed and pushed through, but
You crushed it. That's so cool though.
That's such a fun experience. So one thing is that I'm a little bit older than you, but I'm impressed with how well you do on TikTok and like how quickly you come out with content. So how often do you post, and how do you come up with like your ideas for content?
It really, if it's like a game day, like sometimes I post like a lot. Like I'd be spamming sometimes like 10 posts plus in one day. I mean, that's how like before, like, so my original account got banned when I first started posting about women's football. So I had like 2,000 followers. And then it got banned, lost that account. That was heartbreaking, devastating. And then I had to start over from literal scratch. I was just like, I put out content. So like, I just think of something, I'm just like, okay, let's post about it. Like, there's so much content in women's sport and women's football, and there's so many teams, like so many different leagues. So I'm just like, okay, if this is going on, just like post about that. Like, I like to bring coverage. Like, there's so many underrated players, so many leagues that don't get enough media attention. I'm just like, that's what I want to bring more, like media attention to these teams.
So cool.
You're really good at it. It's really impressive. I mean, when I originally started following your content, I would have had no idea that you had just gotten into women's soccer in general too. Because I had been following you, for a while too. And then I was like, oh my gosh, like you were, one of my favorite accounts too. I'm like, that's amazing. And then I think I had seen something too on your content that you had just gotten into it. And I was like, what? That's hilarious.
Sometimes I genuinely, I still feel like clueless sometimes about like what I'm posting about. Cause like, I still don't like fully like understand the game like that. Like I'm not like a football genius yet. I wish. So like sometimes I'm like, I don't even know what I'm like talking about right now, but fake it till you make it.
Yeah, but you're pulling stats out like a boss, though. Like you just have them off the top of your head, too. Yeah.
Thank you. I try to study and like, I try to learn as much as possible because I've fallen in love with this sport. So like, I'm like trying to get the nitty gritty. Like, what does this mean? Like when I was at the She Believes Cup, it's like, it's so weird watching a game without a commentator in your ear. I'm just like, what's going on right now? Like, is a throw in? I'm like, I don't know what's going on.
That's so funny. That is actually so true. I've noticed that watching other sports too. Sometimes I'm like, it's really different watching this live.
It's so different, like watching online and being there in person. Like, it's incredible.
Yes. Kylie can kind of relate. Kylie, you should share what your experience was getting into women's soccer.
Yeah. Okay. So similarly, it was like about last year, I started hanging out, I think, with Katie Stewart, the other host of the podcast, and chatting. Like, she started liking soccer, and then I started like just kind of looking and dipping my toe into like it. And Trista loves soccer, and then one of our friends, Elmer, started to invite us to the Dash games, and I was having just a blast going to the Dash games last year. That I was just happy. One evening, we watched the Angel City documentary on HBO.
Yeah.
And I guess I should say Max now. And it kind of just started from there. I was like, I've been having so much fun going to these games and chatting about soccer with my friends. I need to get season tickets. I need to support this. This is going to be my life now. And then there was one kind of break in like where I was having a lot of time. I think it was like a work from home like day, and I had just put on content in the background. And it's just, there's so much Lioness content that I just started just streaming all of it from YouTube and just having a great time. I know exactly what you're talking about with the chicken shop date with Lucy saying she's a 10 out of 10 at soccer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like it was, and then like even, what was it? After the Angel City doc, I think I watched the Euros doc on how they won.
I watched that as well.
That doc gave me chills. It was so good. Yeah.
I know. And I know like recently, like a big topic is that Netflix is releasing a documentary about the England men's losing the Euros instead of the England women's winning the Euros. And I'm just like, hello? Like that's like a big missed opportunity right there.
Seriously.
I would love a Netflix documentary about them winning the Euros. Even though I already watched the documentary they made, I'll watch another one. I love it.
What a miss.
I know.
Yeah. But getting into all the docs is kind of like a really fun way into getting into all of the teams because like the Matildas, that was a favorite doc. Yeah, it's all really, it's a fun way to get into the teams because then you like get into the players get into following them. And yeah, because I had always kind of followed soccer, but then with Kylie, and once you build a community, probably, right? Like once you start posting on TikTok, once you start building a community, then it's easier to start really like getting into it more, following it more, and then like learning more as you go.
Yeah.
It's so fun.
Cool.
It's such a good life. Yeah.
I love it over here. I love it.
Are there any things that you've learned with posting on TikTok, like pros, negatives, things that you would, I don't know, because we're kind of like baby creators in a way, like things that you would recommend for other people, like tips, tricks, or even, you know, like when we had Casey's on the case on, we were like, how did you combat like hate, like negativity, like how do you do those things?
Right. I love that episode, by the way. I watched that. I love Casey. She's so sweet. For me, well, the biggest thing learning was probably like patience, because like you want to grow your account, obviously, and you wish it was like that, especially after like losing my first account. But it's like, no, patience, like we'll get back there. And there's always going to be people like hating on women's sports. Like that's just like sometimes I'm like, I don't even want to waste my time on it. But if I see a comment where I'm like, I'm going to say something about this, you know, I'm going to take my time, like, not on this account. We're not doing this over here. Like, you just have to like block it out sometimes. I mean, the hate that women's sports gets, it's so like engraved in society. But luckily, like these days, people are like waking up. It's like about time. Like there's so many different athletes, like female athletes, who are just like bringing people together. Like Caitlin Clark with women's basketball. I hated basketball my entire life. Watched this like recent women's tournament. I'm just like locked in. So hopefully like that's the start. But I mean, like, negative comments, ignore them. You guys are amazing. So if y'all get any negative comments, no. And last night I actually I was watching one of your podcasts, and it was one where you were talking about how you got into an argument with someone. I watched that one. And I'm just like, that would send me over the edge so much. And it's like,
oh my gosh, yeah. There's not a lot of things that I would get riled up about, but if somebody's gonna be talk trash about women's soccer, I'm like, no, don't do it. No. That's really good advice. And also, oh my gosh, I really got into the end of the women's basketball and like the of the college NCAA tournament, and it was so good. What were your takes?
First of all, once again, it's because of an edit. Like, I started keeping up with the UConn team maybe like December-ish. So, and also like I've lived in Connecticut like my entire life, really, most of it. So I'm like, okay, why not just support UConn? So I've been keeping up with them. And then before this tournament started, I've been hearing all this hype about March Madness. And I was like, I never watched basketball. I always hated basketball because when I was little, I was like really close with like my neighbor, and she was on a basketball team, and I was invited to go to one of her games. So I went to one of her games, and randomly, because I guess like when I was younger, I was like the tallest in my class, like out of the boys, girls. I lost that height now because I'm not that tall anymore, but I guess everyone wanted me to play basketball. So her coach came up to me and was like, come play in the game. Like, what? So I was like, I did it, and I tried to shoot it, and it was like one of those like embarrassing like movie moments. I shot it, and it came right back on my head.
Oh no.
And that was my hate. That was the start of the hate for basketball for me. Like, never. But there was like so much hype around this tournament. I'm like, okay, I'll give it a chance. Now I'm just like, I've fallen in love with women's basketball now. It's so easy to get hooked. Like, women's sports is just so different. And it's not even like a hating on men's sports thing. It's just like a different energy. Like, I love it.
It's like you're just amazed at what these women can do. And you almost feel empowered yourself. Like, it's so cool. Yeah.
I bought my first soccer ball, like, because the Lionesses, I'm like, I've never played soccer. I don't know how to play soccer, but I'm like, they make me want to, like, I might buy a basketball soon. Who knows?
Love that.
I love that. No, truly. Like, I watched the ending I watched the semifinals and the finals game, and it was so impressive. Even, I mean, I was rooting for Iowa just because of Caitlin Clark and how impressive she is. But then when I watched the finals game and South Carolina won, I was like, and then I realized that they've never lost a game the whole entire season.
Sick.
I was like,
season.
That is so cool. That's so impressive. What?
The media wasn't really talking about it. Like, they still aren't. Like, they went a full season undefeated. Like, I don't, like, that is, like, so hard.
Like, that's so amazing. Truly, that's so amazing. And then also I started, it's a rabbit hole, right? So then I start researching all of the players that I thought were amazing, right? So I'm like researching the whole starting lineup for South Carolina. Yeah. And then I start researching everybody on UConn too, because they were amazing. Yeah. So now I'm like, okay, I'm probably going to start getting into the NBA.
Right. Like
I'm excited for that. Yeah.
The draft is 2 days from now.
Yep.
That's going to be so cool.
So I'm going to be watching that. Like, never would I have ever thought twice about watching the WNBA, neither the NBA. Yeah. And this tournament, I'm like, UConn's exit broke my heart. Iowa broke my heart. So when they were playing against South Carolina in the final, I was rooting for South Carolina. Like, I'm like, we got to get revenge. Like,
fair enough. That was rough. That was a rough exit.
I'm like still heartbroken over it, but we got next year. So
yes.
But yeah, I'm very excited for the draft and to just start watching the WNBA. I know they have 12 teams compared to the men's, which is I think is like 20.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like, that's actually insane.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big difference.
Huge. And the finals last year was pretty epic, right? For WNBA. It was like Las Vegas and the New York team, or New York, New Jersey, kind of like
the Aces, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I don't even know much, but I'm like trying to, because I was not there watching it, but like I was like, I know which team you're talking about.
Yeah. So like it got a lot of coverage last year or last season, so I'm excited for this season and to watch it more and just get in on the hype. Yeah.
Me too. I'm definitely planning on posting like more women's basketball content because March Madness was so much fun. I'm like, if this is like women's basketball as a whole, I'm right on.
I'm here for it.
Yes, same. I'm like excited. I'm like, okay, this is going to get me into women's basketball. One thing I'm kind of sad about is that Houston doesn't have a women's basketball team. Like because we have a NBA team. I'm like, I wish we had a WNBA team because I would go to the games.
Virginia doesn't have a team in any sport, men's or women's. Like, I'd be okay with anything. I know that San Francisco is getting a team in the WNBA next year. So hopefully we can start seeing more of that. I would love a Houston team. Like, I love Texas, so I would be down to travel to watch them play any day of the week. I like more women's sports teams, please.
Yes, that's what we need, honestly. More women's sports teams, more women's sports coverage, which is really awesome. We're here for it.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite NWSL player?
That's a good question. Oh gosh, there's so many good ones. Besides the listener. Because I just like, she's like, honestly, like right now, she's like my number one. But besides Alyssa, let's see. Trinity Rodman. I really like Tren. I'm trying to think. There's so many.
Let's not do favorite. Could you pick like your Olympics team maybe?
That's tough. That is tough. I recently figured out like a couple weeks ago, I didn't realize that it was only an 18-player roster.
Yeah.
Which is absolutely insane. All I know is Jaden Shaw has to be there on that team. Jaden Shaw. Oh my gosh. Alyssa Nair, obviously. Who else? I think a lot of people are like, is Alex Morgan going or not? In my head, I'm like, she's going.
Yeah.
Like, she has to be going. Katarina Macario was really good too. It was really great to see her return as well. Yeah. So maybe her as well. Emma Hayes can bring her over from Chelsea. So bring her to the Olympics with us.
What are your thoughts on Emma Hayes?
I'm super excited. She wins everything. She's won the WSL so many times, even though it's broke my Arsenal heart. I'm just like, good. We need that for the USA because I think we've fallen in FIFA's ranks number fourth for the fourth place for the first time ever, I think. So it's like
Yes.
we know the standards of the USA, so it's like we need to have that back. Have y'all seen the conference she did yesterday?
Where she quoted like Robert Frost or something like
Something
that.
like that's like all in my head when I think about her right now. I'm just like, I can't wait to see her in the USA press conferences. Like, it's gonna be a party. I'm just like,
Yes.
I am super excited.
Yeah, I'm really excited too. She's always a surprise when she's saying anything in response to questions that are being asked, or like even when she was talking about how she was telling her son, she went on that whole tangent about
Yeah, I'm like, what are you talking about?
I didn't get it either. I didn't get it. I was like, okay.
It just didn't really make sense, and I was like, Emma,
Like, she's a surprise. So,
so funny.
and I think,
Micah, oh sorry, go ahead.
oh, I was gonna say, I think, well, I know that before the Olympics we have a friendly against Mexico in July, and like I hope to be there because it's in New Jersey. I'm like, it's not far, so I hope to be there. And I think, I don't know, I'm excited to watch her be the head coach, like actually be there and control everything, like what the rosters are gonna look like. Like, that's what I'm really excited for.
Yeah, that is really exciting, honestly. And I can't wait for the Olympics too. I think that it's just going to be really exciting. I think it's going to be sad that we are not going to see England there, but yeah, I think there's a lot of other countries that are really good that we won't see, but it's going to be a really good tournament.
It's going to be really good. I mean, like, there's so many countries in it who, like, I feel like haven't performed the best recently. So like Canada, like they won last time and they didn't do too well at the World Cup. So like I'm excited to see like what that's gonna look like this time around with the US as well. Like hopefully we get it together in the next few months we have, because I would hate like another bad tournament.
Our group is so hard though. We've got Germany, Australia, and Zambia.
Zambia, yeah, Zambia.
Yeah.
How to say it? Which I was so sad to see Australia in our group because I love the Australian team. I love the Matildas. I was like gonna be rooting for them if we didn't do good. So I'm like,
Yes.
now we're playing against them. So it's like,
Yep, I love
And
them
they're doing
too.
so well right now. They just beat Mexico 2-0
yeah,
over in
I
San
saw that.
Antonio. Yeah.
I would
Even
have loved
without
to see
Sam
that.
Kerr.
I know.
Kyra
Sam-
Cooney Cross did like a back hill pass to Rasso. It was
I
beautiful.
just saw that. I just saw that on Instagram. I'm like,
Yeah.
Kyra is one of my favorite players, and more game time for her at Arsenal, please, Jonas.
I totally
Like,
agree.
she's so, I'm like, Jonas, please, we have this amazing talent on our bench. Play her.
Yep. I can't, I don't envy his job. There's just too many good players on Arsenal, you know? Like, it's so fun for every single one of them.
I know. I hope, I would like to see more United States players, like, just in the WSL in general. But I am, like, heavy on Naomi Girma to Arsenal. Like,
Ooh, that would be good.
she would solve all our problems. I'm like, get her to Arsenal.
Yep.
Hmm.
Do you think it would be like Leah Williamson and Naomi Girma kind of controlling that back line? Or what are your thoughts there?
Probably.
Yeah.
I think, yeah. Leah, she's so good, but obviously she's still coming back from an injury. So I'm just like, we'll play it out and see what happens. But I'm pretty sure Naomi is still on a contract for a couple of years. So, but in my dreams, I can see it one day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you think oh, sorry, go ahead, Kylie.
I want to see like more cross pollination. I want more WSL players to come to NWSL, and then more NWSL players go over there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, that's kind of what I was saying. And Kylie and I were talking about that yesterday when we were at the Dash game with the watching Washington Spirit. We were like, oh my gosh, it'd be so interesting to watch Trinity play in any European team. Just like watch that growth.
I think, I don't know, I heard about this. I'm not entirely sure. I'm pretty sure they're working on that, like a tournament that's like NWSL teams versus WSL teams.
I think they are, right? Like, yeah.
I heard something about that. So imagine watching like Gotham play against Chelsea. Like,
right?
we need that.
Yes.
That would be amazing.
Like in the off big tournament years, like where there's no World Cup, no Olympics, like something like that sounds just amazing. Yeah.
That
Oh
would
my
bring
gosh.
so much growth to the game, I feel. Like,
Yes.
100.
We're already starting it kind of in the NWSL where we're like playing against Mexico teams. And I think,
yeah.
is it Canada teams? I'm not sure. Is it just Mexico?
I know we're playing against a few Colombian teams.
Oh, that's cool. Okay.
I'm
Okay.
not sure about anything else, though.
Yeah.
I have to look that up.
So
Women's
exciting.
sports.
I know.
Micah, do you have anything else coming up that you're excited about?
More content, y'all. Look out for more WNBA content. Hopefully, I was saying this, like, hopefully I can travel to Europe sometime this year. I would like to go to an Arsenal game soon or something before the year ends. If not, the Euros is next year, and I definitely will be there. So,
Let's go.
very excited for that.
Shout out Delta.
Let's
Shout
go.
out Delta. The Olympics are literally in a few months. I am free. If you want to take me to Paris, oui, please. Je m'appelle Micah. Like, I'm available.
Good.
Perfect. Yes. Yes. So Micah, what do you do when you're not making content?
Literally, I feel like all I do is make content. Like, that's literally all I do. I'm taking a gap year, so I've really been focusing on creating content. I'm going back to university soon, and my goal is, well, I always have to get accepted first, but I want to be located next to a NWSL team. So if all goes well, I will be right next to a NWSL team. So more content with, women's soccer in America. So that'd be really good. So university, accept me, please.
Do you have a goal with where you would hope your content takes you at some point?
I mean,
do you see yourself like broadcasting? Do you see yourself being like even bigger on TikTok?
I hope so. I feel like I don't have enough soccer knowledge yet to be a broadcaster, but one day, I mean, just in the media doing anything, like that's all I wanted to do growing up. Like I've been posting on YouTube for years, other things. I've been posting on TikTok for years. I've been posting on it since it was Musically. I love making content, so that's like one thing I've always done. So hopefully I can continue to grow my account. I love to work with some teams if once again, I'm available. So I'd love to visit some teams this year. Hopefully, and even though it's a 3-hour drive, hopefully I can see like Washington Spirit or North Carolina play sometime. So yeah.
Awesome.
Like be like a social media manager at some of the NWSL teams and stuff like that. Yeah.
That would be I would do anything. I do anything. Put me in somewhere.
You are so good at it too, because
So
sometimes
good.
I'll see like multiple TikToks of yours come up at once, and I'm like, it takes me days to think of a TikTok. How in the world is she just posting these things?
I try. Whenever like if any big news comes out in my head, it's like, okay, like at least try to be like one of the first people to talk about it. That's just how I think. I'm like, okay, this talk that like post about it before anyone else does.
Mm-hmm.
So I try to keep up to date with as much as possible. I post a lot. Like it's not even on purpose. Like I don't plan out anything. It's just like, oh, let's just post about this.
Perfect.
And I guess probably my biggest hurdle overcoming any kind of social media thing is like just getting it out there and like recording myself. And I just feel so awkward about the whole process. And how do you overcome any kind of like second guessing what you're saying almost? Because you come out with so much content, you have to just kind of put it out there and like move on. Like, how do you do that?
I am the biggest overthinker in the United States of America. Like, I second guess everything I do. I overthink everything I do. Like, even at the She Believes Cup, like, the content I made there could have been better, but I was so shy. And, like, that kind of makes me, like, get on my stuff. It's like, okay, this is a big opportunity. Who knows if you'll ever get the chance. Like, we get it, you're shy, you're nervous. Sometimes you overthink, but it's like, you just have to get it done. Like, in my head, it's like, you have these goals. Like, there's no way you're going to achieve it if you're just, like, sitting and not doing anything about it. So in my head, like, for me, it's like, okay, you want to achieve your goal so bad, do it. Like, it's like, don't think, even though that's all I do is think. I have to like put my brain on pause for a second. It's like, girl, just post it. Go just post it.
Cool.
I try.
That makes sense. Honestly. Yeah. That's kind of where we were at with the podcast too. We'd been talking about it for a long time, ever since we had gotten so into women's soccer. And we were like, well, we're never going to get anywhere if we don't just try. We don't just throw it out there if we're not just doing something about it.
I had my own podcast in the past as well. Like, when I tell you, like, I've always just done random forms of social media, but like, I wanted to like start doing something like this. So I thought it was cool because there's not many like women's sports podcasts right now. So I think it's like really, and especially like content creators as well. Like, if advice, like, get into it now before like just like the March Madness, that just brought like a whole bunch of people who are gonna want to start posting about it. And it's like, we're getting there, but like there's still much growth to be. So like, start posting now and start like stuff like that, because like there's not that many women's sports podcasts. So it's so great that you guys have started. My followers, if you're listening to this, listen to their podcast. They're so fun, and I love, like, I've been listening to your episodes, so yeah, I love it.
Thank you, Micah.
Of course.
And thanks for all the advice too. Yeah.
Yes.
You guys are doing great. You guys are literally doing great. So
nice. So something we like to do on our podcast sometimes is guess the heights of players at the end of our podcast.
okay.
So I'm gonna pick a player and we're gonna guess how tall that player
I'm gonna
is.
be so bad at this.
Okay. And if you already know how tall this player is, then you just tell me, and then we'll pick a different player.
Okay.
How tall do you think Alyssa Nair is?
Okay, I know goalkeepers have to be tall, so do we have like a buzzer, or can we just yell it?
Whatever you're thinking.
You
I'll
can
go
just
after
yell
you.
it. I'll go after you. Kylie's like, I'm not going first.
I'm gonna say she's definitely probably taller than this. 5'11".
Okay, I was gonna go 5'10". So what is it?
Okay, this is kind of a surprise. She's only 5'9". I know.
What?
Yeah, I've looked this up before because I'm like, I just always expected her to be taller, but she really is not like the tallest goalkeeper ever. She's just that athletic and that amazing.
Now that I'm thinking about it, she wasn't that much taller than me when I was meeting her.
It's so cool that you met her. That's so cool, Micah.
Guys, like, when I tell y'all, she was in front of my face. I'm gonna post more pictures on my account because I took so much and I have not posted that many yet, but I was starstruck.
Is she probably so nice too, huh?
I've been saying this, like, she was the nicest out of, like, she took the longest. I mean, like, there was like 2 long sides. She went back and forth between both of them, signing everything, taking pictures with everyone. Like, I think she gave her gloves away as well. Like, Alyssa Nair, like, after that, like, that's like one of my like reasons why I love her so much now. Like, I've always loved her, but I'm like seeing that, like, after, like, you just played like a 90-minute plus game, you're tired, you're worn out, like, yet you still like make time for fans, and it's just like, it's a lot. So I'm like, I was so impressed. I'm like, Alyssa Nair, you're the GOAT. We love you.
I love that. I know. I was so impressed with Trinity Rodman too. She did the same thing yesterday. She went all around the stadium. She was so nice. There was a girl next to me who had the sign, and it was like, "Can I have your jersey, Trinity Rodman?" And Trinity was so sad. She was like, "I can't give you this jersey." She was like, "If it was my national team jersey, I'd give it to you. I can't give you this one." She was just so sweet and so nice. And Kylie and I have talked about this before. We thought she'd be kind of intimidating just because of like the energy she puts off. Kind of. She's so nice.
Like,
So
she
nice.
seems so cool. Like, she seems so cool. I'm just like, I'm not that cool. I'm not that cool.
So cool. Okay, how tall do you think Lily Johannes is?
Okay, she's only 16.
Yeah, she's still even growing.
Right. I'm trying to think. Wait, I was like, hang on. Let me like. She has to be older than I am.
I'm gonna go with 5'6".
I was gonna say 5'6". I'm 5'7", so I don't think she was taller than me.
Google says 5'8". But
There's no way. I refuse.
I remember playing basketball in high school. We definitely would lie about my height on like the roster stuff. Like they always added an inch, and I was like, okay, that's just not true.
I feel like her and I were pretty level almost. She might be though. I don't know.
Huh.
Sniffing that out. You'll have to go watch her at Ajax. Yeah.
Netherlands is like my number one like travel destination. So
Sick.
I would love to go see her play.
Yes.
To get that picture with her because I messed up the first time.
Well, I think the first time is kind of the worst. Like we really struggled here in CONCACAF. Like we were the weirdest during that period of time. So, and yesterday was pretty weird too. But it's going to take practice. I think the next time will be better.
I'm ready.
Right, yes.
I'm ready for the next game.
I didn't get to watch the game last night, but didn't Houston score in the first minute or something like that?
Yes, in the first 2 minutes.
2 minutes.
Yes.
It was the fastest. I think it was the fastest NWSL goal ever. I think I saw that. No, it wasn't.
I don't think so. There's definitely been like 90-second ones.
Season, Alex Morgan scored in like the first like 20 seconds or something like that.
Okay, never mind. It's the fastest Houston dash goal ever, I think.
That one does make sense, yeah.
I know.
It's the fastest Houston dash goal ever, not the fastest NWSL goal ever.
That is so cool.
On the night they were celebrating like their 10-year anniversary because they've been in the league for 10 years. That's pretty cool. Yeah.
That is really cool.
And JJ Watt was there. They were celebrating Ali Watt.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all, I wish I was there. I need to go to a Houston Dash game.
You're invited.
You're welcome. Yeah, come along with us. Yeah, we'll have a blast.
Yes.
Yeah, well, yeah, Micah, thank you so much for coming on and sharing your story, sharing your passion for soccer. Do you have anything else you want our listeners to know about that you have coming up or that you want to promote?
Guys, just follow me. Follow the Boots podcast. If you like basketball, I'll start posting more about basketball. Olympics coming up, so hopefully Delta, if you're watching this, if I get another comment in my TikTok, I'll let y'all know and be like, if I have another +1, like who wants to come with me? Let's go to Paris, even though I don't know French. I took 6 years of French, so I know Mattel and oui, so that's all I got. But yeah, listen to the Boots podcast. 10 out of 10.
Perfect. Micah, thank you so much for coming on. It feels like once again we have a celebrity in our midst, and it's so nice.
You guys are
it feels so nice that we got to get to know you a little bit better, and we actually got to have a chat with you face to face. Feels like, it was getting to know getting to chat with an old friend a little bit. So that was really awesome, and hopefully we'll have you on here again. It was awesome that you were able to go to the She Believes. And thank you so much for joining our Boots podcast today.
Thank you guys so much for having me. I will come back anytime. You guys are so cool. I was so nervous, but I knew it was going to be like a great time because you guys just seem so nice. So I'm like, there's no need for me to be nervous, but thank you guys so much.
Oh my gosh, it was so fun having her. She's so awesome, so kind. I didn't know it was going to the conversation was going to flow so easily with her. Yeah.
She is a wonderful person, and she is just such a genuine and sincere human being. And I really hope that Delta sponsors her, or whomever. And I really hope that she, how when you come across somebody and you're just like, they're somebody who deserves to reach their dreams and reach their goals. And if anybody deserves to be 100% famous, it's them. And that's how I feel about Micah. So I hope that happens to her, and she deserves it. And also she has the best personality for TV and for content. She's hilarious. So put her awesome. On the screen. Put her on the screen somewhere.
Yeah. And I like how she sets her goals too. She just sets them and she's this is my goal. I'm going to do this. It's just admirable. Yeah.
100%. She's admirable. She's young. She's got a lot going for her. And I'm so glad that she came on Boots today. Hopefully we'll have her again sometime soon. And of course, we're fans. We're going to continue to follow her content. And I'm sure we're just going to continue to see her grow and rise and just become a star, really.
Yeah, seriously.
Thank you so much, Micah.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Micah. And yeah, all the wishes on getting you to Paris 2024. Let's go. Yeah. That's our episode today. First and foremost, thank you so much to Micah for coming on the podcast. Again, just we'll sing your praises. We enjoy having you. Please follow her on TikTok at MAEnergy7. Micah is her name. She's an amazing person, makes great content about women's sports. And thank you so much, Micah. So much.
Woo. Woo, woo, woo.